Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi addressed regional security support for Gaza ceasefire agreement and detainee swap alongside United Arab Emirates President Mohammed bin Zayed. Cairo hosts technical meetings focused on mechanisms for implementing the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. Intensive preparations are underway in North Sinai Governorate for the opening of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing. You're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews. Let's move to the latest developments. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has addressed regional security, supporting the Gaza ceasefire agreement and detainee swap with United Arab Emirates President Mohammed bin Zayed. This came as the United Arab Emirates President welcomed President Sisi at Abu Dhabi International Airport. The two leaders discussed strengthening bilateral ties, particularly in the economic, commercial and investment sectors. They also addressed regional stability, emphasizing continued efforts for a two-state solution. Additionally, they discussed Lebanon's presidential election, Syria's stability, and efforts to restore stability in Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and Somalia. A high-level Egyptian source has confirmed that technical meetings are ongoing in Cairo, focusing on the mechanisms for implementing the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. According to the source, the discussions are centered on the logistics of delivering aid into Gaza, with plans to send 600 trucks per day, as outlined in the truce agreement. The technical meetings, which began today, Friday, in Egypt's capital, involve teams from Egypt, Qatar, the United States, and Israel. The goal is to finalize the procedures for the successful implementation of the ceasefire, which has become a critical priority following the recent escalation in Gaza. Qnews has stated that intensive preparations are underway in North Sinai Governorate for the opening of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing. According to Qnews, hospitals in Sinai have received hundreds of wounded Palestinians before the Rafah crossing was closed on the Palestinian side. The report also mentioned that Egypt's Minister of Health, Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, is set to visit Sinai hospitals to inspect the health system and operating rooms, which need to be equipped to accommodate the injured Palestinians. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulhadi has discussed developments in the Gaza Strip with his Iranian counterpart Abbas Araghchi, focusing on efforts to reach a ceasefire agreement in the region. The Egyptian Foreign Minister emphasized the importance of the immediate implementation of the ceasefire agreement, stressing the need for all parties to adhere to its provisions according to the agreed-upon timeline. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulhadi and his Italian counterpart Antonio Tajani have emphasized the urgent need to intensify the delivery of humanitarian aid across the Gaza Strip in the coming phase to alleviate the ongoing humanitarian suffering in the region. The call also addressed the ceasefire agreement in Gaza, emphasizing the need to implement its provisions according to the specified timeline. Additionally, the discussion highlighted the importance of international efforts to rebuild Gaza and rehabilitate its infrastructure to restore normalcy. Egypt has emphasized the critical importance of starting without delay the implementation of the ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip, along with the exchange of detainees and prisoners. It also stresses the necessity for the parties to agreement to adhere to its terms and work towards implementing its stages on the scheduled dates. In a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt called on the international community to support humanitarian efforts and provide aid to the Gaza Strip and to begin early recovery projects in preparation for the reconstruction of the region, with Egypt expressing its readiness to host an international conference on this matter. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati welcomed the European Union's financial package for Egypt and the disbursement of the first tranche worth €1 billion, expressing hope for the swift release of the second tranche of €4 billion. During his meeting with EU ambassadors accredited in Cairo, Abdulati outlined Egypt's stance on various regional issues. He stressed the need to respect Syria's sovereignty, unity and territorial integrity, emphasizing the importance of initiating an inclusive political process led by Syria to ensure the country's security and stability. A European Union monitoring delegation is set to arrive in Cairo early next week to facilitate the implementation of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. The delegation is expected to focus on establishing a mechanism for reopening the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing, which is a critical step in easing movement and supporting the truce. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has praised the agreement reached by Egypt, Qatar and the United States for the exchange of detainees and a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Madbouli highlighted the Egyptian leadership in mediating this deal, which came after over a year of efforts. Egypt's Prime Minister reaffirmed the country's commitment to supporting a just peace and defending Palestinian rights, emphasizing the ongoing regional and international impacts of these developments. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has affirmed Egypt's readiness to provide all logistical support, necessities and aid to the people of Gaza. In a press conference following a cabinet meeting, the Prime Minister reiterated that Egypt will always support a just peace and advocate for the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdulati and the acting special representative of the UN in Libya, Stephanie Khoury, have discussed consolidating cooperation with the aim of resolving the Libyan crisis through a purely Libyan political process. Abdulati noted that Egypt has been encouraging Libyan parties to preserve state institutions and hold presidential and parliamentary elections in tandem. He also stressed the salience of the withdrawal of foreign forces and mercenaries according to a precise timeline in order to preserve Libya's territorial integrity, security and stability. Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Karim Badawi and Chevron's Egypt's country manager Christian Svensson have discussed the company's activities in Egypt and its plans for the coming period. Badawi highlighted efforts to boost oil and gas exploration, increase production and reduce imports, with full support from Egypt's leadership for foreign partners. He also emphasized Egypt's investment opportunities and the need to accelerate the development of new discoveries. Meanwhile, Svensson reaffirmed the company's commitment to Egypt's promising petroleum sector. Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Karim Badawi and Saudi Minister of Industry and Mineral Resources Bandar bin Ibrahim Al Khuraif have discussed ways to develop cooperation, exchange experience and share practices in the mining sector between the two countries. Minister Badawi praised the International Mining Forum as a key platform for discussing industry developments and noted shared mining characteristics between Egypt and the Kingdom. He highlighted reforms improving Egypt's mining investment climate and key gold and mineral projects. Badawi also outlined the Ministry of Petroleum's strategy. Meanwhile, Bin al-Khurayef emphasized Saudi Arabia's commitment to strengthening cooperation with Egypt to develop the mining sector and attract investors. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Health and Population Khalid Abdel Ghaffar and a delegation from the United Kingdom for International Hospitals have discussed ways to enhance cooperation and expand investment opportunities in the healthcare sector. Abdel Ghaffar stated that the Egyptian state encourages investment through attracting private sector partnership. Minister of Health spokesperson Hussam Abdel Ghaffar said the meeting discussed healthcare investment opportunities, including expertise exchange in mental health and the Sukaina Hospital in the New Alamein. The meeting also covered training, capacity building and healthcare digitization. The Egyptian cabinet has approved a new initiative to support and develop priority industrial sectors. The initiative focuses on offering financial facilities to private companies to expand operations in key industries. 7 priority industries: pharmaceutical, engineering, food, textiles, chemicals, mining and building materials have been identified for an initiative aimed at expanding through financing for machinery and production lines. The cabinet set conditions including support caps based on business scale and will prioritize projects in regions with high developmental needs like Upper Egypt and border governorates. Minister of State for Military Production Mohammed Salahuddin Mustafa has emphasized the importance of closely monitoring production progress across affiliated companies to develop a clear vision and enhance output. During a surprise visit to Halwan Machinery and Equipment Company, Mustafa emphasized the need for collaboration with both local and international private sectors to boost manufacturing. He highlighted the importance of proactive problem solving, modern technology, asset preservation and adherence to safety standards. The minister also toured production lines that supply the military with equipment such as mortars and rocket launchers, as well as civilian products like agricultural machinery and transportation components. Minister of Culture Ahmed Fouad Hanno and Mohammed Mahdi bin Said, Morocco's Minister of Youth, Culture and Communication and the head of the current session of the Arab Ministers of Culture Conference, have discussed prospects for joint cooperation and ways to enhance the partnership between the two countries. The Culture Minister praised the strong historical and cultural ties between Egypt and Morocco, highlighting the fraternal bonds. He emphasized the leadership's commitment to cultural cooperation to protect Arab identity and promote sustainable development. The Moroccan minister appreciated Egypt's cultural role and affirmed Morocco's support for joint Arab action. Both sides discussed strengthening cultural cooperation through exchanges, supporting creators and launching joint initiatives to foster closer relations. The Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, Sharif Al-Sharbini, has emphasized the importance of the political leadership's directives on maximizing the use of locally manufactured products. The minister stressed the need to accelerate projects completion and regularly monitor progress. The meeting also focused on improving the operation, maintenance and management of treatment plants, including exploring public-private partnerships as directed by the states. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi addressed regional security support for Gaza ceasefire agreement and detainee swap alongside United Arab Emirates President Mohammed bin Zayed. Cairo hosts technical meetings focused on mechanisms for implementing the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. And intensive preparations are underway in North Sinai Governorate for the opening of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.